Everyone, happy Thursday. Well, today has been a bit more calm outside. We're still seeing a little bit of fog outside as well. And not only have we seen some stronger storms this week, but we also have the chance to see some severe ones as well, especially going into tomorrow. It is also severe weather preparing this week. And today we are talking about damaging winds and hail safety just in time because those are the two main threats we are expected to see along with tornadoes as well going into tomorrow. So when we see this activity, you definitely want to make sure you're monitoring the weather reports and warnings, make sure you have a safe place to go to as well, and be aware of the hail coming in. When we see the size of hail, it can vary, but when it starts getting damaging and severe is when we see about a quarter size hail. There is the chance tomorrow to see hail the size of baseballs, so you definitely want to be mindful when we are experiencing all of this tomorrow. Windows and more tower cam, you can't see too much. The fog and mist has definitely been impacting us. Still seeing a lot of that influence from a low pressure system. For Mount First Alert Doppler, we are in the 50s and 60s right now. Also, McDonald County is seeing an aerial flood warning that should expire later this evening, but we could see more of these start to pop off as we see more excessive risks for rainfall, especially in the next 24 hours. So we're seeing this cold front that moved through yesterday going out of the area off to the northeast. Now we're awaiting another system that is going to come in from the west, and ahead of that, it is expected to bring some stronger storms possibly this evening. Now that is anticipated to impact more areas off to our west. We do have some severe risks. All threats are possible, but the main ones we're looking at for this evening is going to be some damaging winds and larger size hail up to the size of about some ping pong balls. But as this front continues to get closer to the area, we're going to see a resurgence and more of this convective activity. This is going to drag in the chance to see more severe storms. As of tomorrow, we are expected to see the highest risk for severe activity in the afternoon. Severe risks, all threats are possible, but the main ones we're looking at for this evening is going to be some damaging winds and larger size hail up to the size of about some ping pong balls. But as this front continues to get closer to the area, we're going to see a resurgence and more of this convective activity. This is going to drag in the chance to see more severe storms. As of tomorrow, we are expected to see the highest risk for severe activity in the afternoon and evening as well, but we will still see some storms tomorrow morning. Now tracking into tonight, so this is what I was talking about when I say our severe risk for today ahead of this system coming in is going to be to our west. We're seeing a marginal risk for some of the 4 states, and if you're traveling west, you're going to see a slight risk 2 out of 5. But then as we get into tomorrow, this is what we have been focusing on for most of our week. We have this 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. All threats are possible. Main ones we're looking at, though, are damaging winds, gusts up to about 60 to 70 miles. Also larger size hail up to the size of baseball balls, and then also checking out the chance to possibly see some tornado threats. But it's very interesting because when I was looking at the models, while we are expected to see a risk for tornadoes for a good portion of it, most of it is tracking to the southeast of I-44. That's when you see that chance pick up. Then the rest of us, the main threat is expected to be more so the chance for some larger size to severe hail for us. But again, all threats are possible. Also, speaking of threats, if we do see some watches, a watch basically just means you need to have a plan in place when it comes to severe thunderstorms. But then when it comes to warnings, whether that's for severe thunderstorms or tornadoes as well, you definitely want to be weather aware, have a plan in place, and take action immediately. Because I've seen it firsthand. Sometimes when we have a severe thunderstorm warning, it can change to a tornado warning very quickly. So tomorrow is expected to be quite the active day for us. So make sure you have a plan in place and just have proper ways to also get weather alerts as well. We do have our 4 states homepage weather app as well, and then we have our KSN KODE app as well. So we have a lot going on and a lot for you guys to get proper resources from. But also be mindful of localized flooding risks as we get into tomorrow. Some heavier rain bands are anticipated for us, but our highs today, we're going to see some 60s near 70s as well, 71 in Bonita, 72 in Grove, and also 70 in Miami. But as we track into this evening, those lows are going to get into the 50s and 60s for us, so it will be a mild to a warmer evening for us. Here's a look at your KSN forecast from Local Weather Authority this week, and today we are talking about damaging winds and also hail. When it comes to damaging winds and hails, you definitely want to monitor the weather reports and warnings. Stay away from windows and make sure you have a safe place to go, whether that's inside or in your car as well, because sometimes hail can start falling while you're driving and you just want to make sure you're taking the proper steps. So when we start to see the hail pick up to the size of quarters, that's when it becomes severe. Before that, it's non-severe, but it still can have some impacts on your car and possibly just your day as well. So you also want to make sure you know the difference between a watch and a warning when it comes to severe weather. When it comes to a watch, you just need to make sure sure you have a plan in place. It can last for hours, but when a warning comes in, it usually ranges from about 20 minutes to an hour, and you want to make sure you are taking action and going to your safe spot immediately. Windows and more tower cam. Look at this right here. All of this mist and fog starting to come through. So when we're looking at our temperatures, not too much of a pickup, still on the mild side. We are seeing some denser fog off to our north on our Fremont First Alert Doppler, southeast Kansas, just getting put under a dense fog advisory as well. So if you're headed in that direction, be mindful of that for sure. The showers and storms of last night further off to our east. Now we're looking at this front. It's going to continue to shift out of the area, more so off to the north. Still seeing some of those dense fog advisories to our west, and that's where a lot of our severe threat is going to impact us for today across the 4 states. So this cold front moving off, it's going to be out of our region. Then we have another system going off to the west. Now, that is going to bring in some severe showers and storms. We're looking at that to impact us not only today, but going into the overnight hours early as well. Now, we'll see some breezes this evening, gusts close to about 26 miles an hour. As this front makes its way through, going into really tomorrow evening and then overnight, we'll see more lines of showers and storms, but by Saturday mid-morning, things should start to clear up. So when we're talking about severe weather for today, so off to our west, we're looking at a marginal threat for some of us, and then as you get further off to the west, you see a slight risk 2 out of 5. As of right now, we're looking at the biggest threats, damaging winds, also hail, but you cannot rule out the low-end chance for an isolated tornado. But tomorrow is what we're looking at across the 4 states, because look at this right here. 3 out of 5 enhanced risk across the 4 states. Biggest threat is going to be all of our threats. We are looking at a high-end threat for some damaging winds up to about 70 to 80 miles an hour for those gusts. Larger size hail that could range up to the size of a baseball. And then there is a higher chance for tornadoes as well, a lot higher than what we've seen so far this week as well, and moderate risk right there. But speaking of tornadoes, and it comes to our watches and warnings. So when you see a severe weather preparedness for us, and you see watches and warnings when it comes to a severe thunderstorm. So when a warning is in place, you want to be mindful of that, because usually that means we could possibly see some stronger conditions for severe weather in the form of damaging winds, also hail, and then tornadoes as well. Also cannot rule out the threat for tomorrow to see a marginal risk for some chances for some excessive rainfall. That could also keep us in the range of seeing some localized flooding as higher amounts of rain could come through with some of those bands. Highs for today are on 69 in Joplin, 71 in Grove, and then also 71 in Bentonville. But going into this evening, we'll start to see those lows drop off a little bit. We'll be looking at some 50s and 60s for us on the board. Here's a look at your KSM forecast from your local weather authority. Today we're